Do you know that every F-35 needs 418 kg of rare earth elements to fly? China doesn't control all world rare earths, but it controls something more important: the processing and the magnets that modern technology depends on. Today I shall explain about China's rare earth monopoly and strategic, technological, and defense vulnerabilities for US and Europe. First, we see why rare earths matter strategically. Rare earths are a group of 17 elements, but only a handful carry real strategic weight, like neodymium and praseodymium go into magnets used in EV motors, drones, aircrafts, and wind turbines. Dysprosium and terbium let those magnets survive extreme heat, critical for missiles and military motors. Samarium goes into a separate class of magnet built for radar and aerospace. Here is the key point: rare earths are not valuable because they are rare. They are valuable because of their magnetic and chemical properties with no easy substitute. According to International Energy Agency, permanent magnets alone account for around 95% of rare earth value. That one numbers explain almost everything. Now we see what is the China's real advantage. The danger is not that China has a lot of mine. The danger is China built a complete mine to magnet ecosystem, stretching from raw ore all the way to finished magnets, and its grip only gets tighter the further down that chain you go. At mining, China controls roughly 69% of global rare earth production. At refining, that climbs to more than 90%. At finished permanent magnets, the actual usable product, it reaches closest to 95%, and China holds around 49% of world known reserves compared to just 2% for the US. Here is the trap most people miss. The US can get ore from Australia. It can mine some domestically, but having ore is not the same as having the industrial capability to refine it into high purity magnets. That processing bottleneck is China's real leverage. What is exactly why even ore extracted in America or Australia often still gets shipped to China just to be processed? How China weaponizes this monopoly. China has not just held this advantage passively, it actively used it. In December 2024, China bans export for gallium, germanium, and antimony to the US. In April 2025, 7 rare earths, including terbium, samarium, get added to export controls, disrupting automakers, aerospace firms, and defense contractors worldwide. In October 2025, China introduces its most sweeping restriction yet. Any foreign-made product containing just 0.1% Chinese origin rare earth now needs a Chinese export license. A product made entirely outside China still needs Beijing's permission. China has also used this position for price control. In 2022, Beijing deliberately increased output by 25%, specifically to crash prices and push foreign competitors out of businesses before they get established. Recent restrictions have triggered price spikes up to sixfold. Now we talk about what are defense vulnerabilities for US and Europe. Weapons platform cannot switch suppliers overnight. They are built around specific material for years. Like F-35 needs over 400 kg of rare earths per aircraft, samarium cobalt magnets in its flight controls and radars, neodymium and dysprosium in its propulsion, scandium in its airframe. This is not theoretical. In September 2022, the Pentagon actually suspended F-35 deliveries after finding Chinese sourced samarium cobalt in an engine component. In 2015, the Pentagon had to grant a special waiver just to let Lockheed Martin use Chinese neodymium magnets to keep the program on schedule. Naval vessels tell the same story. Early Blue-class destroyer uses about 2600 kg of rare earths. The Virginia-class submarine needs roughly 4600 kg for radar, sonar, and the missile guidance. The scale here is staggering. The Department of Defense estimates 78% of all US weapons programs depend on rare earth magnets, every one of them tied back to the refining dominance we just covered. Now we move towards strategic and technological vulnerability for Europe. Europe's vulnerability runs mainly through its green transition. Rare earth magnets power EV motors and wind turbine generators, and European defense contractors are already reporting shortages, unable to secure neodymium for precision guided munitions. The European Union has openly stated its goal to avoid relying on a single country for more than 65% of demand for any critical material. That admission itself tells you current dependency already exceeds it. Why this is so hard to fix? Three reasons this cannot be solved quickly. First, processing, not mining. This is the real bottleneck. The West has the geology but lacks the separation and magnet manufacturing infrastructure. Analyst estimates closing this gap could take 3 to 4 years. Secondly, the economics discourage investment. Back in 2010, a China-Japan dispute triggered a wave of Western investment in alternatives. But once Chinese exports resumed and prices fell, those projects became commercially uncompetitive. That exact pattern still discourages investment today. Third, global recycling rates for rare earths remain below 1%, and the separation chemistry is complex and highly polluted. Part of why China dominated this industry in the first place. What was the Western response upon this monopoly? The West isn't standing still. The European Union Critical Raw Materials Act now funds strategic projects across France, Italy, Poland, and Sweden. In October 2025, the European Union announced Resource EU, a plan for joint purchasing and stockpiling of rare earths. The US has set floor pricing for neodymium, praseodymium, and is funding domestic processing through the Defense Production Act, backed by $30 billion in federal finance. China's rare earth monopoly is a rare case where control over obscure industrial material, not oil, not silicon, but elements like dysprosium and samarium, creates a genuine choke point over the most advanced military and green technology systems on Earth. The F-35 says it all. The most advanced fighter jet ever built has already been delayed once because of a single Chinese sourced component, despite America outspending every rival military on the planet. Both the US and European Union have launched serious diversification efforts, but their own estimates closing this gap will take years, not months, which means this is not a future risk to prepare for. It is a present day constraint, actively shaping what the West can and cannot build right now.